Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Dragon Run is a little dungeon crawler, pressure lock, light filler of a board game. In this one, each of the players are pressing their luck to kind of get treasures from this dragon. And you don't want to bust as you go through it. It's a little deck of cards, and you can flip over a card and see what's there, but now I know that card's not in the deck, and how many other cards that are negative are in here. Sometimes you know there's only positive cards. I'm going to run really quick and start grabbing as many of these cards as possible. Now, there is a dragon with a little timer on it. It's going to be going towards the end of the game, depending on the number of busts, etc., as you're going through it. It's a really fun little thing. The only thing about it is the card deck's a little small, so you're seeing the same cards over and over. Before the game ends, it's kind of like, seen it. I think you need that because you need to be able to know what's in the deck, and you need to be able to memorize that so you can kind of press your luck. If you don't know what's in the deck, then you're just randomly turning over a card. In this respect, as the game progresses, the more I get into the game, the longer I've played it, the more I know that deck, the better I know it. I'm pretty sure there's 3 cards left. 2 of them are bombs. 1 of them is going to be a good card. I'll have a 33% chance I'll flip it over. That kind of thing. There's ways you can mitigate pressing your luck. If you're pretty close to busting, you want to be a little bit careful on that. And there are times where the deck itself will make you keep going, and you have that tension of pulling the card over. Probably not my favorite pressure luck game. I think that always goes to ink and gold. But this one is really fun. It's a little bit different. It's fairly quick, very easy to teach, very easy to play. This is something you can definitely play with your children and your family or with your gamer friends as a filler. Everybody's going to have a good time. The theme is going to turn off some non-gamers, I think, the dungeon thing, the dragon thing. I don't know how that's going to hold up, but it's really just pasted on there, so don't worry about it too much. This is a really fun game, and if you don't have this one, I recommend you searching this one out. Every time I start to think, maybe we don't play that one, I'll pull it out, do one more play, and I'll get rid of it, I always end up keeping it. It's that good of a game. It's not so good that I remember it and pull it out all the time, but it is one I really, really do enjoy, and that is Dragon Run, keeper for us. So here's Dragon Run by Blue Orange Games and Vincent Dutrait artwork. This is one of the earlier games they had. It's a little bit longer of a box. You're going to get 2 books that will come with it. We'll go over those in a few minutes. You're going to have a nice little board that represents the dragon with a meeple that will go down. And really, this is just a tracker. Nothing else is going to happen there. You're going to get a regular 10-sided die that you'll be rolling. You're going to get some treasure cards. Now, one of the confusing things about these treasure cards is how the die... Is this 8 or is this 4? I think it's 4. And you're going to have some of these... Now, these potions don't have any words on them. You got to refer to the reference book to find it out. I think it's a missed opportunity. Other than that, I think the treasure is just fine. Now, you're going to have the dungeon cards that you go through. A lot of these cards do the same thing, which is fine. It's a little bit of a pressure luck game, but I wish there was a little bit more variety in this. Then you'll have these will be a little bit thicker, and these will be the player characters you have with different powers on them, etc. I wish the side that was damaged versus not wounded was a little bit more clear, but I think it works just fine for what it is. So the rulebook's going to be a little bit longer than normal, and I can have a picture of the contents, but you will have a picture over here for setup, which is great. Then a wall of text of kind of how to play the game. A little bit of a picture of a card here or there, but not too much as you're going through. Now, the reference book, which is great, is going to have an explanation of each of the cards in the game. And like, for example, the powers you're going to have are going to be a little bit more in detail. Now, the rules that are in here do not necessarily match what's on the card. I would go by the rule book because it's more detailed. You can see there's a lot more wording on these things, but they're not always going to match up 100%. So you kind of have to memorize those and just use this as more of a reference. So I wish they could have matched up more, but I do appreciate the more detail that this rules reference book. The players are going to have health, so they're going to start out the game on their healthy side. If they take a wound, they flip over. Take a second wound, they will die. If all of the characters die, then the dragon wins the game. If the dragon's level reaches 0, the game will end, and then you count up how much treasure you have, and whoever has the most treasure is the winner of the game. You're going to shuffle up this pile of dungeon cards, and on your turn, you're going to have 3 options of things that you can do. The first option you have is to turn over the dungeon card and do what it says. Draw a treasure, you may take another turn. So you just draw a card from the dungeon, and this goes in your secret pile that nobody else can see. This little green icon means you keep going. Draw a treasure, you may take it another turn. So I draw another dungeon or treasure card, put it in my scoring pile, and then I am good. I may take another turn, or I could stop. Let's say I want to press my luck and keep going. Draw or discard until you have exactly 4 treasures. I only have 2, so I'm good. But there is a red icon on here, which means it's the next player's turn. So that's what you can do, is continue to go through the deck until you stop, etc. Now in here, most of the cards will allow you to take another turn or discard treasures, etc. There is a dragon card. When this one is drawn, then you will take damage. This dungeon deck will be shuffled back together, and the random assessment of cards will be over. So that's the first thing you can do, is charge in there. The second thing you do is hide. That means you discard a card with at least 1 coin on it. If you don't have one with coin, you might in a circumstance have to give up a coin worth more if you want to sneak. Then you will roll this die, hoping to get a number larger than the number of cards left in this deck. So right now there's 10 cards left in the deck. I rolled a 1, so I failed. Then I must charge it in here, and I would do whatever the next card says. The next player cannot cry like a baby. Let's say that the game had progressed a little bit, and somebody hit, and there's only 1 card here, and I rolled a 7, and I passed it. Then what will happen is the dragon will move down 1 on his temper. Remember, the game ends when he gets to 0. Then I will shuffle all the cards back together, and then I can choose to either charge in, like the action I've already showed you, or I could pass to the next player. The reason why you'd want to pass is if you get enough treasure cards that you feel confident, there are cards in here that will make you discard treasure cards or even take health and possibly be eliminated from the game. The last thing you do is cry like a baby if you feel like you're in great danger. Then you'd have to pay the price of at least 2. So the 1 treasure would not work anymore. I'd have to give up a treasure worth at least 2. I don't have one, so I'd have to give up the 4 if I wanted to cry like a baby. Then the dragon will lose his temper one more time. You'll shuffle up the dungeon deck, and then it will 100% be the next player's turn. Now, I should note that there are some cards in here that are potions, not just treasures you'll get. The Talisman of Invisibility, the Potion of Vision, the Talisman of Redirection. They will all do different things. For example, this one says if the dragon attacks you, you can play this card, and you can redirect it to somebody else. Potion of Vision will let you look at the next 2 cards of the treasure deck and put them back in any order that you want. When this gets down to 0, whoever has the most treasure is the winner of the game. In addition, each player has a power they can utilize at any time in the game. So, for example, the cleric can heal another adventurer at any time. The thief can steal treasures from other people. The scout can take a sneak peek at the top of the card. These are always used once per round, and you can earn those back and use them again. So that's how you play Dungeon Run. Who should buy this game? Anyone looking for a pressure luck game. This one is really fun, very easy to play with your family, and it can usually be found at a fairly good price. If you're looking for the next big Euro game, this is obviously not going to be it. There is luck involved, there is flipping over cards and hoping for the best, but as you know that deck, you become more knowledgeable, you become more experienced, and you'll be able to play to the percentage a little bit more. This is one we really do enjoy for our family, and one I recommend for you. This is a keeper for us.